What's good? It's your girl Amani Caesar.
Boy, Trey forever, baby.
Brian Reeves, director of 70 times 7.
Man, it's your boy, Artist.
The girl's Asia's name. Girl named Masam.
It's Young Spook, one half of Back in Business Podcast.
Era, the Gap 2 Diva.
Big stuff.
Are you Milan? Here, Milan.
It's your girl, Flaming Gina.
This Auntie Pig.
Boy, Lou.
Ebony, aka Ebony with an I. I'm from the Big Head Radio Show, and I'm
With the King Teeth Network, huh?
I like this shit. Okay, and boom, we back. This is the King Teeth Network, and we got one of the legends of the city, the new legends, the new kings, the new kings of the film world for sure. Johnny Filmworks, how are you,
right,
man?
my man. I'm glad to be here. This was important to me. I see what you've been doing, watching you. You know what I mean? And I'm glad to be able to be a part of what you're doing, man.
Man, we happy to be here. Man, we are happy to be here. We're happy to have you here, and we're happy to just get into this deep story. I mean, you started at 9.
9 years old.
Come on,
man.
now.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how many people can say, hey, I started, you know. And so, yeah, me and my cousin, my partner, David C. Snyder, shout out to Dave.
Shout out to Dave.
We started, you know, his dad was a golfer, right?
Really?
And they got they lived out in Pittsburgh, right?
Okay.
That's where he like kind of grew up or whatever. So they had they bought him the old VHS camcorder, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the young crowd may not even know what that is. That's how long we've been
Hey,
doing
it
this.
took me a second.
Yeah, you're like camcorder. Yeah.
Cam?
So the tapes were like this
They
big.
like came together.
Yeah, right. Oh, dude, it's hilarious. You know, you have the big tapes and everything. So they bought it to film his swing. Well, Dave got it at 12 years old and just started making movies. I don't even know if they ever even used it.
Did he really?
I don't even know if they ever used it to even film the golf swing, right?
What?
So Dave started doing it, and then he had 2 brothers, right? My other 2 cousins, Jeff and Phil. And so I would come visit them, and we would start making movies. You know what I'm saying? And they would make movies, and that's what they did. And like,
Did you write them already, or did you?
so
just...
we would improv back then. So we would like go up and be like, "Are you gonna do this?" So we kind of have a concept.
Yeah.
And the first ones were I could cuss, right?
Yes.
Very shitty. They were very shitty. Let me say that. And then as time went on, and it's funny, you can see the progress because they get better over time to the point where we did one at my grandma's. In
Shout out to Granny,
hey! You know, we were in Youngstown, and right by Cheney High School, she used to have this little house, and they had a big wheel there. So we decided we're going to do Deaf Big Wheel, right? So this was a real thing, right? So we went and we got the big wheel, and I played the hero, the good guy. My cousin Jeff played the villain. Dave filmed it, you know what I'm saying? And Phil was like in there somewhere, I forget. But we made Death Big Wheel 1, 2, and 3 over about 5 years. We made it. Yeah, and that was the most popular for a long time.
Was it really?
Yeah, we would use movie music. So like we used Back to the Future because that was like the soundtrack we could get on a CD then.
Yeah.
So we used that as the soundtrack music. To make like that's what I'm saying. That's how. Right. So like, you know what I'm saying, man? So it was like, yeah. So that's how we got started. And then keep it real, Dave would edit. This is how he edited. I can't make this up. He'd have 2 VCRs, which still to this day beyond because like you know how hard he would have to pause, record you know what I'm saying to cut the. That's how
I
he
could
cut
barely cut in Premiere Pro.
Right. Exactly. Hold on. It's hard enough to cut in Premiere Pro, let alone. And he would time it like that. And
so he really
see what I'm saying. And so think about to do it that long and now to do it on the easier equipment. That's why he's so good.
Yeah.
So to him, like if you watch him edit now. Me and my cousin Jefferson, but he'll just like boom, 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 boom. It's like so crazy.
It's like
almost like
a whole
a second.
new world.
He does it so quick. Yeah. So he would edit on 2 VCRs, and that's how we would do it. He put the music over, and we used to have and then as time went on, he got a character generator, and that's how we do titles. And of course, that was years in, but that's how we did it. And so there were many movies. They were big fans of James Bond. So they used to do Dave Bond, and they had like Ben Chips. I'm trying to think like all these different movies. Yeah, man.
I love it.
So that's how we did it. Yeah. Oh, okay.
A little bit.
Got you.
Just because I am dark.
Oh, okay.
That looked better to me.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So and that's how we would do it. So we would just continuously and then over the years we stuck with it. He got better. You know what I mean? And then we had better equipment right over time. You would be able.
How did you start to build that? Was it from just working different jobs and y'all was like, look, this is what we want to do?
Right. So Dave for a long time delivered pizzas and shit. You don't even know that he delivered. Yeah. And he would do music. So he got in with He's a real big fan of Public Enemy. Remember the rap group?
Okay,
Chuck
yeah, absolutely.
Huge fan. So he ended up getting in with Chuck and did a music video in 2005 for one of Chuck's artists.
What?
And that's how him and Chuck got close. So he would do music videos for Chuck's record label for a lot of years. And
Wow.
stuff. And so he stuck with that, and that's
Beautiful. And then he's getting better in the
got
craft.
Right. And of course, it was that. And music videos. Let me make this point: music videos and movies are two fucking different. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
These guys who do music videos think they can make movies. And it's like there's a whole. You're a cameraman. I mean,
Right.
and I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying that's what
It's
you
a
do.
difference.
There's a difference, right? So basically, he got in with Chuck. Well, and a lot of people don't know this. Dave and Chuck actually have their own little boutique record label now. And
Really?
Dave he produced a song with Ice-T, Chuck D, and PMD from EPMD.
What?
That's on the soundtrack to Coming to America, the second Coming to America.
Is it really?
He got a nice check for that. Yeah, he produced
Hell
the
yeah,
song.
he did.
So and he did a song. It was in years ago when he first started producing. For the what was not Drumline, but one of the dance movies like Step Up, or and he got one in there too. So I mean, he's done.
Really?
Yeah, Dave was good at producing music.
So did he get a sync placement, or was it just on the soundtrack?
It was just on the soundtrack.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful,
But,
though.
but I know he's still.
And people who don't even understand what sync is,
Yeah.
I want you to break that
Yeah,
down.
right.
What is
Well-
syncing a music to a film? What is that?
So you're saying like this? You're talking about this score, baby.
Uh-huh.
Right. That's a whole different because the score is different than the. See, Hollywood. You got to remember something. Hollywood and independent film are
It's
two different things, right?
yes.
I was just telling him earlier, like you got to have like in Hollywood film, everybody has one job. You know what I'm saying? Because they got $100 million budget,
Right.
Where we don't get that luxury. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the guy guy or girl who's getting us coffee, a lot of times is doing the props. She might be doing, or he might be doing the props, it might be doing the slate, or the light breakdown, light, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So ultimately it's a different game. That's why, like, and I'm gonna keep it extra real about music even. Like you get a song in a Hollywood movie or whatever, you get paid, whatever. We put one of your songs in our movie, we're actually doing you a favor because you're getting this huge exposure that you wouldn't normally get.
Exactly.
Unless you're already a big name.
And it's the independent side.
That's it. It's the independent.
Absolutely. It's a different game.
It's a different game. It's a different game. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. Our budgets, like I was telling you before, like their budgets are
half a
20
million to a
more.
million.
Yeah, right.
More.
Where ours are now. Me and Dave pay each other. We only get paid on the back end. We don't
Really?
Well, because we fund our own. I fund our own movies.
You fund it all up front.
Yeah, I fund it all. You know what I'm saying? So
Wow.
we get paid on the back end. So our budgets usually between 20 and 30,000. Where it would have been about. They're usually if we paid ourselves like with another investor, we'd probably be around 50,000.
Yeah.
So we're like so that's why we say 50,000.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? But that's how we do our budgets. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And we have a whole system. Really, it comes down to. We get into business now,
Let's
but
talk about
systems and processes.
Let's
you know
go,
what I mean?
because that's the money.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That's the money.
See, it seems boring. It doesn't seem
It's
fun,
fun.
but that's where everything's at. You know
That's
what I'm
where
saying?
it's at.
That's where it's at. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And it sounds because I think sometimes it gets so basic, but it's like the systems. Everybody has their own job. You know what I'm saying? And you have a system, and there's a breakdown. Everybody has their own job, and they have their own system and process to how they do that job. You know what I'm saying?
Now,
and that's
look,
big.
We had a conversation a couple weeks ago.
Right.
But even before that, I've been watching you for a while, man.
Yeah.
And when we had that conversation, things just started to click that just been like lingering for so long.
Yeah.
Dude, you are so smart.
I appreciate that.
Like
man.
you are when you have something coming, dude. Like when you did the movie premiere.
Yeah.
I seen an email every other day. You know
So,
what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
But you have this email listing.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? That you've grown over the years.
Yep.
That you can push this.
Yep.
So even if you're not posting 7 times on social media, you're still getting people to see your stuff.
It. And I think here's the thing. This is a tip for everybody, including you, is in the new world. And by the way, new world, I mean this has kind of grown over. This wasn't necessarily when like Instagram first came out, even over time. But you have to have your marketing has to be omni-channel, and by that I mean you got to have an email list, you got to have an Instagram, you got to have Facebook organic reach sucks, but Facebook, TikTok, whatever, and you got to be working them because the thing is now there's so much noise and chaos out there, right? So you got to be able to hit people. See, like an email list is great because everybody gets your email. Now whether they open it or not, but that's getting good at writing copy, which is a whole other situation, and being able to get people like titles and everything else and headlines and all that. But everybody gets it, right? So and also too, it's also the level of that people view that content to what level do they put it at a level of importance or priority, right? Because an email is more important to most people than a post on Instagram.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's just how most people see it. You know what I'm saying? So you have to learn how to build that email list, but then you also need to learn how to cultivate it. Like I always laugh because people would say, build a list, or even your Instagram, build it. It's also your reputation to that list, right? Because you can build, like you ever get, like I always like say like Express or what's another, like Abercrombie. Like if you're on their list, all they do is 15% off.
Right.
25%. So
Right.
you want to bring value, build reputation.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying, and do these things. That's why we're doing a lot of the. I don't know if you noticed on HWIC and my page, I'm doing a lot of tutorials and stuff now, because it's like, I'm building a reputation with the audience, like, because I really want to see other people succeed. I understand that with one, all our movies can do well, not just one of them. You know what I'm saying? All our movies can do well. So it's like I want to see other people out there. You know what I mean? Give them tips enough that they could do it on their own, because the bigger film community, it's going to help us all.
Yes.
You right? You know what I mean? That's how I feel.
So how do you? Because I think this is one of the best times for the film industry right now in Cleveland. What is your? Because you're one of the leaders.
Right.
How does it feel now compared to when you started?
Boy, that's a great question. So we did Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, which
that was your first main
urban movie. It was our second feature. The first one we did was we always called it our film school, because that's how we learned how to do it. It's called The Quiet Arrangement. It's like it's only on, I think, Amazon. But yeah. But that's how we learned.
That was your first feature film.
Right?
Okay.
And then Swing Low was our second, but it was our first urban. So that's what we decided this is the lane we're in.
Subgenres.
Look,
we talking this shit.
Right,
I like this. I like this.
That's back to the advice, man. When you get into a lane, stay in that lane, because people will go back and they'll watch your other films in that same genre. You know what I mean? You're building a name in that niche, you know what I'm saying, or niche, if you will.
Absolutely.
So, but in 2012, we shot Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. Came out in 2013. Ended up DVDs were still a thing, you know what I'm saying. And so it went viral in the streets because I made the executive decision to sell the DVDs at the premiere, which now I wouldn't do that, but back then that was a smart move, because once they got it, it went viral, and that's how everybody found out who we were and stuff. But back then, the only movie in Cleveland that had ever been done was Chase and Ray Jr. and them did that. Remember The Game Ain't For Everybody? And I think that was like 09 or something, right? 08, 09. So they never had. So Swing Low was the first movie of that level. You know what I mean? That we were like, because it was done so well. Everybody was just like, "Whoa, what is this?" You know what I'm saying?
In Cleveland? You shot it in Cleveland?
We shot the whole thing in Cleveland. We were at out of weight projects. We shot in Euclid. We shot over on Kansas. I mean, we were everywhere.
How was that experience?
That was, it was funny because you're going into that one like, man, I'm taking a big risk.
Yeah.
This shit better work. You know what I'm saying? And we went in and we kind of just, shout out to Dave. He handled a lot of he shot it on one camera. We had a Panasonic camera back then.
Shout out to that.
Yeah, man, he shot the whole thing, edited on, and so.
That bitch was hot every day.
Dude, man, we were, and it shot to Tina Hobbs, because she was, me and her, produced it, you know what I'm saying?
Ooh, shout out to that.
And then her partner D McGee, but me and Tina did all this like planning and all this other shit that was like, I mean, it was tough. It was hard, but you go into something with faith and a little bit of blind faith or whatever, and you go and you think, at the end of the day, there's always going to be a risk in everything you do, man. There's a risk in everything, you know what I'm saying? And people don't understand that. They're like, you're always, because to do something great, it might not work, man. You do. And I guess in some ways, if you never quit, you really never fail, because you keep going. You know what I'm saying? There's that too.
It's always a chance.
It's always
if
a
you
chance.
keep going, it's always a chance.
That's it, man. That's it. And that's why, like, I try to tell people, like, do know you're going into something and you're taking a risk. Like, because even if it's not money, it's time, it's effort, everything that you're taking that risk in.
Relationships.
That's it, man.
Sacrificing
so much, man. And to be able to see, that's why I said I really want to see Cleveland come up. I really, I love the city. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't know this, but I grew up in Youngstown, but I moved here when I was like 19. 20.
Really?
Oh yeah. I've actually been here now longer than I was when I was,
Really?
Yeah. So like, but Cleveland showed me a lot of love up front. A lot of people don't know that,
That's love.
To have a moment of vulnerability, because when I left, I was having a tough time. I came here. Cleveland showed me love,
Really?
And they did, and I think that I think in a lot of ways that's part of the reason I like doing what I'm doing, because it's bringing. It's almost like they don't see the goodness in themselves, you know what I'm saying? The strengths in themselves. They always look at the weak, and we suck. And it's always like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, there's so much great. Yeah, there's
here.
Hey, dude, it is.
That's how this started.
Dude, that's what I'm saying, bro. There's so much
talent. Amazing, talented people.
That's it. And I think it comes from, there is a lot of entitlement to it too, because I think they look, and then I always laugh at, like, Atlanta supports each other, and I'm always like, well, the main artists that are like as far as signed artists, or a lot of them from Atlanta, so they play them on the radio. It really, you don't go to Atlanta all of a sudden they're looking out for you.
Right. No, it don't work like that.
You know what I mean? So Cleveland needs to understand. I think they just need just a boost in certain areas, and I think people start realizing, oh, okay, we really do got something.
And we're bigger than we think we are.
That too.
Like, we are so small-minded in this city because we think we're a small city, dude. When we go out of
Thank you.
They be talking about, because, after LeBron, you put Cleveland on the map.
Well, that's it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
So after that happened, then it was like when people think about Cleveland, it's a whole different thought.
That's it. That's what I'm saying.
So now when we start bringing talent out and we start bringing stuff that's in the city and we're pushing it out the city, man.
Right.
We're gonna be so big.
Dude, that's one of the advantages. That was one of my advantages to growing up in Youngstown, like as a kid, because we
Me too.
Right, because
I grew up in Ravenna.
See, okay,
Yeah,
so you know what I'm talking about.
I moved here
so you
at
were like,
13.
Okay, right. So so I was here like at 19. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So the one advantage we had was, and let's keep it real. Like I know I'm older than you, but like back then it was like we're looking up to Bone and it was like they were.
Cleveland was like, just this huge thing.
That's what I'm saying. See, and the people that are out. So take like Ravenna, Youngstown, Akron,
Kent.
Toledo, Canton. We go to
even Akron,
Alliance, Ashtabula, right?
Canton,
That's what I'm saying. They were always looking up to Cleveland. See, but see, if you grew up here, you didn't know it.
Yeah.
See, so you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So a lot of you artists out there, especially the people watching this, like say, rappers and stuff. I guarantee you, if you have even a little bit of a name, there's some kid in Painesville that's listening to music that loves you.
That can't wait.
They can't wait. Right. He sees you on this big. You see what I'm saying? But see, you're right. See, I knew that. I saw that, and that was one advantage to being there because I knew what it was. Right. Yeah. So us doing like urban films is like, oh, it's from Cleveland, so it's authentic. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people just don't. I don't think they know that or say. And I get it, right? Like because you're here, you don't see it. You know what I mean? So I get that. But trust me. That, and I always say this too, like, this is for Cleveland, I'll say, but like, if you made a hood, not that our movies aren't really hood, but some are, but whatever. But like, you make hood movies, dude, if a hood movie came out of, shit, I'm trying to think of like, if it came out of like, even like I've heard Indianapolis is gangster, right? But if you had a hood movie, you'd be like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe, but Detroit, Cleveland, that's a hood movie. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because we're more authentic to as far as our brand, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying?
Just to the world.
To the world,
it's
right?
Definitely top 10 most dangerous cities. We went on
right.
You know what I'm saying? That makes sense.
That's it. Detroit, Cleveland, Cincinnati, stuff like
Chicago,
Philadelphia, right?
Absolutely.
It just is what it is. Now, it may not even be true totally, but it just is what it is.
Right.
You know what I'm just saying.
Right. No, you're right.
I'm not hating on the other cities. I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like,
No, you are absolutely right. But your perspective is very needed. And I think people coming into Cleveland is needed as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, with passion and love. Because I think when you're born in Cleveland, and like you said, we both have that kind of both look because you've been here a long time.
Sure enough,
But you've also had time to spend outside of it. So like, man, a lot of people in Cleveland don't know how big they are. Like, just as natural people, if you played in Cleveland in any sport, you're bigger than anybody in Ohio. You know what I'm saying? People look at you as like, oh, no, you play with them boys? Like,
very good point.
I never understood that. So I went back home and it was like, dude, how is it out there?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That was it, right?
I was like,
that was it. Same thing here. I go back to Young and they'd be like, man, you know what I'm saying? Because it is a bit. You made a good point. Seriously, let me say to everybody watching, Cuyahoga County. Now I get it, not to say the city proper, right? But even the city proper has like 350,000 people, right? But Cuyahoga County as a county has like 2 million some people, right?
Right.
I want to say we're like 17th biggest, like, metro area. Something like that, right?
Something like that.
We're like the
20
top
for sure.
We're in the top 20, even if it was the top 30, right?
Right.
You know how many metro areas there are? Like, that's really high. You know what I'm saying? So we really have a lot of people here. You know what I'm saying? That actually, you know what I mean? In our, you know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
You know what I mean? So,
that's my this is my question now. How do we get everybody to support everybody? How does that work?
So entertainment's tough because entertainment's the hardest to support, right? Because it's like there's so much talent here. This is what I think happens. And mind you, this is my opinion. I don't have data on this. I'm giving you my anecdotal opinion here.
That's what we want.
But I feel like what happens is there is so much talent that what happens is everybody looks at everybody else and says, I could do that. Or I could, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so take, for example, Scam Likely, which it's not out yet, you know what I'm saying? But when people see it, they're going to be like,
talk about
but
that
like,
too.
we are talking about that. But like, Buddy Vaughn's a star, right?
Yes.
And she kills it, right? You saw the movie. She's really good,
Really
but
good.
I think what happens, you get other females will be like, I could do that. Or I'm just like, and maybe they can to some extent, right? But you only have so many opportunities. So what happens is the first thought is hate instead of support, right?
Yes.
It's like, I could do that. And I think that's what happens. I can't say that for a fact, but... And that's where so they will watch your thing, they just won't publicly support it. You know what I'm saying?
Real shit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I think that's what happens. You know what I mean?
I like what you're doing though because it really emphasizes the fact that you need more than just one person.
Yeah, true.
I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for people like you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the way you even just spoke on Buddy Vaughn, she's not a star, but she's a star.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
And that's how you spoke on it every single time.
Yeah.
This is her first one, but she's already out of here.
Yeah, right.
That's how you got to speak life.
We
have to speak life into our city.
That's a good
That's
point.
what we haven't done.
That's the facts right there.
But
man.
that's why I love where we're at with content, because we can just speak it now. Like, this is going to go up. I'm going to make sure this clip goes up so we speak life into our city more.
That's so true, man.
You know?
I just wish everybody would, to some extent, get out of their egos. You know what I mean? Because that's the problem. Like, to say so-and-so did this. I've even seen people that get a certain level, somebody helped them, and they won't even mention acknowledge them. And I'm like, I mean, that to me, and then the other problem is, we need leaders like myself, like yourself, to change the narrative. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we need people up here to be like, showing love and support to everybody else so that they see that and changes. Because I think what happens is if you get people at the top and they have shitty attitudes, they think that's how I need to be, right? I should be, because they're looking to that role model. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a big part. You know
that's why I love this new regime we got coming.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you.
Because it's completely different.
It's
about inclusive. It's about coming together. It's about squashing. Things are gonna happen,
dude.
That's
always that's gonna happen. We're humans, right?
Emotions, whatever. Agreed. We might have a bad day, whatever. Can we speak? Can we talk? Has been blush? What's going on?
Right.
It's something we can get past.
Let's
get past it. That's what leadership does.
I think Haybert Fleck, Haybert.
Shout out to him. He's out now.
He was in our movie, but he had put a post up. Oh, I remember it was Joy. She was in the movie. Great job. She had lost her page, and he put a post up. And it was weird. It just stuck. Something sticky. He put it up, and he put so-and-so, Joy lost her page, blah, 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 make sure you go follow her. He's like, New Cleveland sticks together, or New Cleveland supports each other. And I was like, that's it right there. You know what I mean? He was right. That's it, man. He you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I thought that was it. Shout out to Haber Flex, man.
He is just a genius and
hilarious. He is funny, dude.
Oh, man, he knows what he wants to do, and he just does
it. His interview with This Only Happens in Ohio is one of the funniest interviews I've ever seen, and it's like 3 minutes long.
You ain't seen ours yet.
Oh, okay, all right, I guess.
Okay. But yeah, you're right. That shit was hilarious.
Right.
Shout out to This Ohio. Shout out to Frank, man. That's my guy, and I'm about to be on there. He coming up on here. Collaborations just like that. That's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about, man.
That's so important. But we gotta talk about this.
Okay.
And I ain't even gonna lie to you. And I'm gonna say this on camera. Me and Andrew, right? We'd had conversations outside of this. Shout out to Andrew Lloyd. We've had conversations outside of this after the Scam Likely premiere. You set the new bar.
Man, a lot of people, you're not the only ones to say that, man. I had people coming up to me in the movie, not in the movie. You set the bar. But remember this, man. Like, and shout out to all the other filmmakers.
Yes, and that is no shade to nobody.
No, Mike Berry, Brian Berry.
That is a test to you.
I love all those guys, man, and guys and women and whatever. But the thing is, to get to this point, man, it took a lot of, and like I try to tell people, because I'll give you one example. Me and Jillian Holt, shout out to the writer of Scam Likely, we got together and we watched what movies were on. I'm giving all this shit out. We watched what movies on Tubi had been high up in black cinema for a long time. And we watched it and made notes and glow ups and blah. And I mean, that's how deep. You gotta go deep into the and then we write to the characters. You know what I mean? Like I knew it was certain characters. Some we actually had a lot of the ones that were the casting call were in it. But like the main, like I knew A-Rob was gonna play Catch and everything. So we write to those characters. But like
that's smart.
There's so many years of doing this that's how we learn. That's why I'm saying stick with something. Nobody wants to hear this, man.
Come on.
But time is what makes the success happen. You build a brand. You know what a brand is? A brand is making a promise and delivering on that promise, and in some ways over-delivering on that promise.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Over and over.
Right. And that's really, at the end of the day, that's what you want to do. You want to build, you want to make that promise and deliver on that promise. So it took years to get there. So Scam Likely was a product of a lot, we didn't come out the gate
of Heist Girl.
Right.
Heist Girl
Swing Low, Sweet Chick.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
And for that matter, Death Big Wheel.
Yes.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying?
It would have never been Scam Likely without Death
Big Wheel.
Come on. They don't understand
that. And so no, that you get that, man. And at the end of the day, that's what it's really about, man, is building and building and building. That's how we got there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so knowing how to cast, who to cast, how to put, to have the right team to put that together. So Scam Likely was awesome. I can say a lot of you. Like, it was the first time in my life where I pat myself on the back, like, man, you fucking did it. You know what I'm saying? But like, really, not I fucking did it. Me and the whole team did it. You know what I'm saying? It's really about your team, because really without the team, you're nothing. That's what you were saying. Like, you got to build that. You know what I mean? Support, and that's why it's like really. You know what I mean? I have just as much love for, Dave and Sean as I do for V, who was the production assistant. You know what I'm saying? I have love for everybody that was involved in the project.
That is
you know
amazing.
What I'm saying?
And it felt like a family.
And that's dope.
It felt like everybody wanted to win.
Yeah, good. Did it feel that way at the
yes.
premiere? And that's important,
man, we're going to talk about the premiere for a second. Because shout out to you. Thank you for having us.
No doubt,
I
man.
appreciate that. Shout out to Sweezy. Shout out to Andrew Lloyd. Shout out to everybody who was a part of that premiere. That premiere was beautiful.
It was dope.
It was
good.
dope. It was great energy.
Yes.
It was people who wanted to see the film.
Right.
People who was in the film, who ain't seen the film, who was super excited about their parts. It was just great vibes, man.
Yeah.
What was your take from the premiere?
So my take on the premiere was, you going to, man, it's funny, how many premieres have we done now? You're still nervous and shit. Like you said, like, are they going to like this? And this one I even knew they'd like it. I'm still like, you know what I'm saying? And even me and Dave goes, I was fine until I walked in the theater. He goes, they got butterflies, But what was so dope about the premiere, man? I mean, not to go to the very end, but like when the credits kicked in and there was like a roar. Like you heard just like roar. And I never had that any premiere. We never, not to that level. I mean, we always had the clap, but that was like,
it was a roar.
It was a roar. It was like almost, like that was almost perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that really for me was huge, because like that made you realize like, wow, everything you put into this and all the effort and the time and the planning and the strategy and everything came together.
Makes sense. It was worth it.
It's worth it. And that was huge to me. You know what I'm saying? And also, but I think, like you said, the energy was really, my mom and stepdad came up and they were like, man, they were really good energy. People were dressed up, everything. Yeah. And I think too, that's also a testament to our brand over time.
Absolutely.
You can. They're coming to something that they're like, this is gonna be,
something.
But what blew me away was the people. Here's what I think blew me away more than anything was the people that came to support the actors. So like Buddy Vaughn, their friends and family, and those people that never saw our stuff, I knew they'd be blown away. It was they thinking they're coming to see some hood movie or something, and they were like, whoa, this is really good. I think what surprised me were the 60-70% that were our fans that came and they expected something big and were like, whoa, you even blew us away. And that was the big moment for me, because it was like,
fans have
high expectations already. I mean, we made good movies, so it's like, this is like, wow, this is really good. So we really, that was a huge thing, man.
Man, that's beautiful. Heist Girl 2.
Okay.
And then I want to finish Scam Likely real quick.
Okay.
So the premiere, great. Can you break down what kind of like a description of Scam Likely? What is it?
So Scam Likely is about a girl from Cleveland, grows up in the foster system. Her father and mother pass, you know what I mean? And she goes. She works at this diner, you know what I mean, and that's paying for in that system where like after you get out of the foster system, like you work a job, they'll pay for your rent and all that. Then she gets involved with the wrong guy and the wrong guys, really, you know what I mean, and it takes her into this whirlwind of crazy, you know what I mean, craziness is the way I can explain it, you know what I mean, and really, that's about the best way to explain
Absolutely.
it.
And then after that, you got to see
right.
Because then she go down a whole path. A whole path. And is there a sequel to this coming?
Well, here's the thing. It is open ended. Like the way it ends,
very open-ended.
and the way it's open to the point. Well, it could. If we didn't do a sequel, you wouldn't be mad, right?
Right.
But we could do a sequel.
You opened the door, but it wasn't like all the way open.
All the way open, right? Correct. So there could be a sequel. That always goes on how well the movie performs, because if it does, which I'm pretty sure it will, but if it didn't perform well, there's no point to it.
Right,
you know what I mean? So that's But if it does well, like I think it is, there will be a sequel. I can promise you that. no doubt in my mind. I learned something on a side note. I learned in Hollywood. I used to get, because me and Dave are film guys and stuff, and we'd always get pissed, like, why'd they make us? Because the sequels usually suck in Hollywood most of the time. It's only literally like 10%.
It's mostly a lot more money and less actual substance.
But I realized why. So here's the deal. So, and I learned this as a producer, and even independently, I learned this through Hollywood. See why Hollywood does it is, if something does well, no matter how shitty the next one is, they're going to show. So, like, for example, The Hangover, say it takes $5 million to make and it makes $100 million. They know people are going to show up for Hangover too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I get why they do, because you're always trying to guarantee your money back, because you're terrified you're going to lose money. Because movies lose money every day.
Every day.
Hollywood movies lose money every day. So I get why they do that. So it's not. So
Absolutely.
it's all the people that hate on that. I get it, but I see why they do it.
Real
You know?
shit, real shit.
Yeah.
So you got it coming to Tubi soon.
Right.
And can you kind of break down the process that you're going through right now? Like, cause you even spoke on it kind of before we turned on the cameras about it's not just we uploaded to Tubi. It's like distributors. It's
Right.
like we have a marketing game. How
Right,
does that
right.
work?
So yeah, and I don't. From what I understand, a lot of the other Cleveland filmmakers don't worry too much about marketing, which they should. That's a whole nother. I probably at some point you run a seminar on that because it's important.
You should.
You know what I mean? Because it's so important.
Yes.
But, so like for me right now, I'm in the process of you get to the distributor, they don't even really give you a date for Tubi. Because you just don't get one. They like it might take this long. Like we put up Heights Girl up through a new distributor. It took 3.5 months to get it up on Tubi, which was a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
But
The shit you don't see.
the shit you don't see, man, it's a pain in the ass. But you got to be careful with the distributor pick because there's a lot of fakes and frauds.
Really?
When it comes to independent film, everybody's trying to get over on somebody.
Really?
Also, do you want to find a distributor also that like deals with your niche, your niche? Because like if you're doing horror movies, you want one that because then they already build an audience sometimes on social media. So then with me, I'm big into marketing, so I'm already putting together. I also do freelance marketing work, paid ads.
Wow.
So I use paid ads for. That's what we use, organic plus paid ads for our film.
Absolutely.
As far as the marketing goes. As we should. So I find ways to build the email list, find ways to get the word out, the reach and everything else. So you put together a whole marketing strategy. For me, I use like a mind map and then, then I go, press, organic, ads, organic stuff, paid ads, influencers, blah blah, and I do like a whole roundabout. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole. It's a whole. Dude, it's a whole. Plus, on top of the fact, I wouldn't have time to go into it right now. But you're absolutely correct. You need it. Like that's what you got to do, man, and figure that out. And you also got to. What's tough about entertainment too is there's your ROI. Your return, which is return on investment when it comes to. Entertainment. Because you only get, or we call it ROAS in the marketing world, which is return on ad spend, because that's why organic is so important, because you don't really, I'm trying to explain this to you real quick, because this is important. People need to know. Like, so some of my clients that I do marketing work for, they'll have a product that's like $100, right? And then they can spend up to $80 to acquire the customer to get the to sell the $100, and then they make their money on the back end, which means they make money through upsells, and you've captured that customer. You keep retargeting, remarketing to them or whatever. In entertainment, we get like 12 cents an hour streamed of a movie. You know what I'm saying? So how do you recoup that ad spend? Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
How do you?
Well, that's the thing. So. For us, it's a lot of word of mouth because our films are we're so good in the niche. We do a lot of organic, and then I do set some aside and I do paid ads, and that gets real deep because I have a method I use that like I can get views for so cheap.
Hold on. You got to pay for that. You got to pay for that.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say the how. I'll tell you what it is, but the how will cost you.
Will cost you. Absolutely.
But I have a way of doing that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it's hard. That's the hardest thing we got, man. It's the marketing.
But once you get that down, you start to really grow. Or like, and it becomes organic even when you are paying because it's organically coming in.
Well, that's it, right? Because you want. Well, that's the other thing too. Like, here's another thing. If you really believe in your product, right? There's a real product to market fit, right? People are gonna tell somebody. You know what I'm saying? So really, like, you might think you're only getting one person, but they may. The old adage in marketing was always you touch somebody 7 times before they buy from you, right?
Wow.
Well, now it's like 43 because
because
all the noise and all that.
You know what I'm
saying? So that's why it's important to hit people, and that goes back to the omni-channel where they see an ad in the horizon, then they see a commercial on TV, then they see it on Instagram, and they see it on. You know what I mean? And so you have to hit them in every. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that marketing game ain't no joke.
No, man, it is. But really, marketing is one of the keys. It really is at the end of the day. It really,
after the product is good.
Right. Well, that's true.
It's right. You've gotten to the point where everything you're gonna put out is good. You're not gonna put nothing out that's just
exactly.
So now you can really focus on the marketing.
That's right.
That's where I'm at too with it now. So I had to learn the game.
Okay.
I had to learn how to set up a camera, set up lights, get people of influence, and actually have good conversations.
Right,
I had to figure out if I was good at that.
That's right.
So
that's true. But that's true because, you're right too. You may be able to do all this, but then if you suck as an interviewer,
there ain't no point.
That's what I'm saying. So there's so many. It's it. There's so many factors.
So many facets.
Yeah.
So then after that, then you can start talking about marketing dollars and strategies of how to getting this product that you have now.
Right.
to bigger markets. But if you ain't got no good product, work on the product first.
Well, that's the thing. You know what's tough, man? You know, you're bringing this up, and one of the hardest things in business.
We can talk all day.
Dude, I love this. I love this shit.
Yeah, this is amazing.
But you know, like you're bringing up a very, very solid point because, you know, what you get into is just as important. So, like for example, let's say we decided our niche was going to be, you know, zombie movies, and then come to find out. Zombie movies don't really anymore. See, you have to do the research up front to know if it's even worth. You know what I'm saying?
Does it even make money anymore?
Does it even be worth the trouble doing it? And that's one thing. And then if you fail, it's like I never want to fucking do this shit again. You know what I mean? But it's like you were
set up to fail. Actually,
you started in the wrong place. You know what I'm saying? You get what I mean? And
yeah.
So like, you know, and that's the part that they don't understand sometimes, because I get it. Like that sucks because. That part is not fun. That is not sexy. It actually sucks. You know what I'm saying? Even the marketing distribution isn't sexy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, that's the part that's not fun.
But
for
the dollars
anybody.
that come in on.
Man. Hey, you start making money.
That's when it start getting set. Like,
I mean,
you said I got to do what paperwork? Come on.
Man, that's it.
That's
and
it.
then that ultimately funds me to be able for other people to live out their dreams like Sean and to be able to pay them and do, you know what I'm saying?
So the proper way.
The proper way.
Absolutely.
You're doing it. That's it.
Absolutely.
But, yeah.
That's why I love the business model you've set up.
Yeah.
It's not only a good brand, good product, but you take care of your people.
That's so
and
important.
You take care of your business because that's what keeps you.
That is the God's honest truth, man.
Because you can get hot in 5 seconds.
But and then what happens like with rappers? They do that. Let's say they don't have a big team, they do, and they get lucky and kind of grow
into the team.
And but then once they get big enough, now I'm bigger than the world. My ego's too big. I see that with rappers a lot. Not all of them, but it's quite a few.
That's why they start losing
and that's where
all
they
their
get
money.
their own. If they lose their money or they lose their buzz or whatever, because they don't. You have to build that, and you've got to continuously build that team over time. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the shit sucks, man. Like posting organically to TikTok, and that shit sucks.
Yeah.
But it's better than a job that you don't want. You
right.
know what I'm saying? So ultimately, if you can make it happen, make it happen. You know what I'm saying? If you really, you gotta have a passion for it.
Absolutely.
It's the only way it's gonna happen.
So I got introduced to you at HWIC Girl 2.
Okay.
But HWIC Girl 1 was actually a was it?
It was a web series.
It was a web series first.
Yeah.
You converted the web series into a movie, right?
Correct. So one thing about Johnny Filmworks is he's innovative.
He's that guy. That is a fact.
You can't take that away from you.
Look, I'll be trying to damn, how do you do it?
Yeah, right. That's a huge compliment. That's what I'm trying to do. Make people, oh shit, how did they do it? Well,
me too.
What I saw, what I saw was there was no Cleveland web series, right? That was like true. So I saw like Issa Rae at the time had Awkward Black Girl, and I was like,
that was around that time.
It was like about 2 years before, right? Yeah, and I was like, oh, I see what they're doing here. So I was like, what a great way to build our name by doing a web series. And man, honestly, HWIC Girl as a web series to me was the most. I get it. Swing Low was our biggest as far as like numbers over the whole country. But as far as Cleveland, I can remember me and A-Rod. It was because we did it we put them out every couple of weeks.
And is that was that the first thing you did with A-Rod? Because I want to talk about that relationship too.
It was.
Okay, cool.
That was because we started in 2014. The first episode came out October 14th, 2014. Mm-hmm. And then 2015 we finished it in June, and then we had a little premiere, same theater with a little premiere thing for the final episode and all that, That's
dope.
But it was a web series, and everybody was like, and it was the first time. People would come up to me like, man, it's like Power. I get to watch, get into it and stuff. And I remember we went out for my birthday is the day before St. Patty's, right? So we went out on St. Patty's Day, me and A-Rod, right? So we went on St. Patty's Day. I don't realize, because I don't go out a lot, and everybody's looking. I had my HWIC coat on, and everybody's talking, looking, and I'm like, holy shit, they really, because you don't see the faces watching your shit.
Right.
And that one blew me. That was always one of the coolest things to me, because that was the first time I got to see, oh wow, there's an audience out here watching our shit, and
that's amazing.
That was dope. That was a dope moment for me.
So how did you meet A-Rod?
So I met A-Rod, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. I was getting music for the movie. So DJ Big Fats, I don't even know if you know Fats, but you might know who he is, but he's from the Heights or whatever. We get all the songs, and he goes, I got one last one for you. And he goes, my dude A-Rod, whatever, and I had never heard of him. I know who Pooh Gutter was, but I didn't know A-Rod, I one person had mentioned him. I remember somebody mentioned him one time, so then it kind of clicked who he was. And then I met him over. He was working. He had this thing in Maple. He was signed to this label, or whatever. We went. I had him do the sign off for the song. So he signed off, and then for some weird reason, we started to become friends. And then we went out and sold the movie. Then we kind of got cool. I still don't even know why.
No, because y'all are cool as fuck.
Yeah, we're cool as fuck. We just still cool after all these years, So we we went out a few times, but the time he's passed away now. But my best friend was Ralph Poole's son. I don't know if you remember Ralph Duran Poole was his son. So we went out, we went to the clubs, and him and A-Rod hung out and stuff like that. And he knew A-Rod, whatever. And that's how we grew it. And then when I came up with the Heights Girl idea. Because I met him the year before. I had this. I'm like, I have this idea for a girl. Because I'm like, how can I make this real Cleveland? Like, one of the stories we always know is a girl from Cleveland Heights dating a guy from East Cleveland with a Shaw or whatever. Yeah. So I was like, he could, play the guy. Just got to find the girl. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we did it. And we that's how we created.
Did you know he could act?
Well, yeah. So I would see. We would do little skits and shit. So that's why I started seeing it. And I'm like, oh, he's got it. Nowadays I probably wouldn't use somebody that. You know what I mean? Because you have to. Well. Not him in particular. I'm saying like I want to find people that are advanced and active.
Absolutely.
Right. Because I need somebody like, you know what I'm saying?
That has chops.
Absolutely. Because if they're already doing it, they're showing me they already, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But he did show me like through his music and stuff, he was serious, you know what I mean? And then so I put him in it, and then a lot of people really loved his characters.
Yeah.
I mean, they love Bryce, and so. That's how we got into it. And then as time went on, me and Dave, I was like, man, I really think this guy could be the star of all that stuff, or at least keep him in the movie, whether it's stars or not, he could be in the movies the whole time. And then he's been in. So
that was your plan. To keep him in.
Because I realized that we needed our own stars.
Yes,
and that was even before Detroit and Murder Pain. They did it, but I saw it before that. Because think about it, they didn't come out 211 until 2014. So I didn't know who Murder Pain was, but I realized they did. Cause I was trying to make A-Rod what Murder Pain is to Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Even before he was. Yeah. So I realized that, and I was like, okay, I needed to, you know what I mean? That was the plan. Okay. Yeah, I need stars. You know what I'm saying? And I want to keep people in the same movies. Yeah, because we had to make our own stars, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to necessarily bring people in from other places because then they're going for that person. I want to be able to go for our own celebrity, right?
I love
our
that.
Actor celebrity, yeah.
And you really stuck to that.
I stuck to it, man. And he, you know what I'm saying? And I think after Scam Likely, A-Rod's finally going to be seen as the actor because now he's played the nice guy, and he's played, you know what I mean, the bad guy.
Yes.
So you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So
Heights Girls 2 blew me away.
Oh, appreciate that. Yeah, that was a good one.
What was that? What made you say I'm going to make a 2?
That was a good question. That's a great question. I'm going to tell you why it's a great question was because I saw, back to my innovative, the web series and all that, I saw, man, nobody really ever did a sequel in Cleveland, did one of their urban movies. And I was like, we got to do that. And the way it ended, there was like, there's all these questions that were unanswered. Yeah. So I went ahead and did part 2. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw some people in there. I got a little Andrew Lloyd in there.
Shout out Andrew. Got his first
where I talk shit about the Ohio Entertainment. And then I had, I got some other people in.
But Splash Rob, even that part, and Splash Rob too, you're integrating the city.
That's the goal.
And the culture.
That's the goal. And see, that was exactly,
that's beautiful.
Me and A-Rod went up in 2019 to one of the Detroit guys' premieres, Birthday Behavior, in one of their movies. And we met Jackpot the Juice, the comedian. Okay. Right? So that's how we got him in the movie. You know what I mean? Well, long story short, Jackpot gets, the reason I'm telling you, there's a whole story, but the reason I'm telling you. So Jackpot, the last night he's there, he's hanging out with A-Rod, she's there at the strip club downtown, he leaves, he gets arrested on some BS, right? What? Total bullshit, right? He ends up getting out like the day later or whatever, but he goes into the jail and everybody knows he starts telling them like what I'm doing, like, oh, I know Johnny, I know A-Rod, but he goes, oh, who's in this movie? In Heights Girl 2, and they were talking about Will the General, Splash Rob, Who Gotta, and he goes, and the guys that were in there were like, wow, that's weird because that's two different sides of town. But what it made me realize is I'm integrating the city.
Yes.
Because I can do that. Because I'm number one, I didn't grow up here, but I'm still here. You know what I mean? I'm always,
built the relationship here.
Exactly. I've been up the way. I've been in EC. I've been, so like I've been on St. Clair. I know these people. So like now I can bring people from different areas and it's integrating the city throughout the movies, right? Now I'm getting real deep on you.
That's what we can do, though. See, that's our power.
Yes, exactly.
Our power is being able to bring people together because we didn't grow up. We weren't born here.
No.
In Cleveland, so it's like we don't have certain
like
ties.
Allegiance, right? We don't have the I didn't go to Heights and have to have this allegiance to everybody from Heights.
Exactly. Or Shaker. Like even when I went, because I came in my ninth grade year, so I have strong ties as a high schooler, but they even had strong ties before me, so I couldn't even be a part of it like that because they was coming from middle school. So it's like, but I understood because I would have been the same way.
Right, because like people that are, if anybody's watching is not from Cleveland, when it comes to like the hoods or even suburbs, there's a very people don't tend to really get they'll know people from them, but they just stick in their own cliques. You know what I mean? So like, if you're from Bedford, most likely you might know somebody from Euclid, but you don't really fuck with Euclid.
You're not going down
You're not
there
going
all
right.
like
It's
that.
kind of like this weird, like, you know what I'm saying? So like being able to integrate those different, especially even like the popular people, like say a Splash Rob from up the way, and bring it in. Now it's one of theirs is in the movie. You know what I'm saying? And so that's important.
So now it feels good to be like, oh man, let's go to that side, man. Let's do something over there. Let's have a. And I love when things go off without a hitch because then you know you can do it.
Right. That's it.
That's
and it makes me feel good too because when I came to Cleveland, everybody showed me love. You know what I'm saying? And in particular, black love. You know what I'm saying? From all the different hoods and stuff like that, I saw that, and I was like, man, if they only could like work together, you know what I mean? And so now being able to do that through movies is pretty cool, right? Because it's like now
that's what it's about.
That's what it's about. Dude, it's really at the end of the day, man. It's about bringing love, showing love. You know,
coming together, and
man,
having a great moment.
That's it, man.
Creating great moments that live forever.
That's it.
Your movie's gonna live forever.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and every moment you had in it is gonna live in you.
And that's it, right? That's the truth, man. And it's really your reputation.
Yes.
And, you know, I always lead with. That's why, like, I have a good reputation because I pay everybody, but I also lead with love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I make sure that, like, I'm not. It's not about me. It's about the company. It's about Cleveland as a whole. It's about these actors, you know, and
getting
crew,
bigger,
and getting bigger, and showing. And let's get this platform and let's go up. You know what I mean? And help every. So in other words, it's a win. You get what I'm saying? Where a lot of people don't. I think when they're very much in their ego, it's all about me. I got to make this for me. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm putting, it's really not even about me. You know what I'm saying? It's really about, you know, it's beyond me. You know what I'm saying? I'm a part of it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And you know, and I'm leading it, but it's like it's not really about me. You know what I'm saying? And that's the most important thing. When you lead with love, man, you can't lose because you know what I'm saying? Because even if you took away, look, and this is getting real deep and metaphysical, but ultimately, I always think to myself, if money wasn't a thing, right? Let's just say that we use something else, or we bartered, you know, whatever, and money wasn't here. Would you be happy? This is a question for everybody. Like, would you be happy where you're at and what you're doing? You know what I'm saying? And I don't think a lot of people think like that because to me it was like, if money wasn't an issue, would I still be happy doing what I'm doing? And I'll tell you what, I sleep good at night knowing that, you know what I mean? I'm helping the city that I love and the people that showed me love when I first moved, you know what I mean? And just everything, you know what I'm saying? That's important to me. You know what I mean?
This is the most transparent I've ever been. I'm transparent on my platform. Right. I'm probably at my brokest I've been in a long time. And I'm at my richest.
See what I'm saying?
That makes no sense to most people.
Right.
But this makes I have all the resources and opportunity I need to make what I need. I don't need the monetary.
That's such a great point.
Immediate gain to be like I need to for me to keep going. It's waking up and seeing industry energy just post me for no.
Right.
I love what you're doing, King.
Right.
Man. That's like okay. I'm getting up. Right.
It's
time to go.
It
ain't about no money.
And you're right. Because and there's the other thing. In entertainment, you have to build. In order to start making money. That's what I'm saying.
You have to build.
You have to build, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and that's the thing. You know, I'm going to tell you guys the most success story I ever saw was Cornell. You know Cornell Ross, the comedian? Okay, so Cornell was in Heights Girl 1. Remember he played Sammy, the owner of the beauty shop. So you know, I would pick Cornell up. In EC, he didn't have a car. I'd pick him up on this dead end street. They'd be shooting dice and shit in EC. I'd pick him up and it's funny because they knew me and like were like happy to meet me and he was a comedian, you know what I mean? And like these dudes would be like, oh, you know, they dap me up and everything like that. And I pick him up. It was a dead end kind of by Shaw High School, right?
Okay.
I pick him up, take him to set, you know what I mean? He'd do his thing or whatever. And he was making his comedy videos. I saw him come from like here to move to LA, and now he makes his own living doing his own thing. You know what I mean? And the point is, if you love what you do, it's gonna come. And you know it's gonna be that much sweeter when you put all that fucking work in and get to that point. You know what I'm saying? But I get it. Everybody wants it tomorrow. We live in, and especially now, we live in this fucking I want it right now world. I want it right fucking now. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm a failure if it didn't happen in a week.
Dude, that is the world.
You didn't even have the whole concept.
That's the world we live in, man.
I
mean, all the way down to the chicks, you know, in Dubai, not showing their 85-year-old sugar daddy, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm just calling it what it is, man.
Where's all this money?
And then other girls see and go, oh, how are they doing it? Because they're sucking wrinkly dick. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay.
Yes, that trip to Dubai was fun, but
I'm not judging you, but just know you're going to have to do that in order to get to that point. Right. So if you want to do that, fine, but then also, too, how genuine or how true are you being to yourself? How much integrity and honor do you have to yourself? You know what I'm saying?
Man, I ain't going to keep you all day, but I will. But no, I just appreciate your time. This has been amazing, dude. I'm talking about the knowledge I'm picking up on this. It's just the first part because I'm
Right.
gonna watch it again and pick up
Right,
even
right,
more.
right.
So man, I appreciate you. But before we get out of here, it's called Get It Off Your Chest, and you've been doing it the whole
Yeah.
time, being transparent.
Right.
But before we see you again, is there anything you want to say to the supporters, to David, to anybody that has been just A-Rod, anybody that just been on your side? You just get it off.
That's
your
it,
chest.
man. For me, I want to say that I love everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm always gonna. That goes like you said, Dave, Sean, A-Rod, the team, but also the actors, Buddy, Mayana. You know that all of them. You know, but also even Cleveland as a whole, man.
Yeah.
Like my message is, you know what I'm saying? I love all you guys. Like whether you love me back or not. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how I am. You know what I'm saying? That's just the type of person I am. Like And I realize sometimes the people that don't like you, like I have compassion for them because there's hate within themselves. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they hate you. It's not really about me, right? Exactly. And a point I want to make is you said something earlier. It was really interesting. Like I just want to say it because it's weird. You said it, and I keep thinking about it. You know when you said we were talking to Italy, and you go and all started coming together and stuff. That's how it was for me. Like when I started learning business and marketing and stuff like that, I would do it. And I'd be like, oh, fucking no shit.
Yeah.
But then over time, so my point, I think of me saying this is, if you stick with something, it'll start. It may take fucking 3, 4, fucking 10 years, but it starts to come together. You know what I mean? You start realizing. That's when you said that, I was like, man, I remember when I would have those. Like I'd be listening to something. Some of these marketers. You know, there's a guy named Dan Kennedy I used to listen to early on, and I'd be like, and it's time going, I'm like, oh, that's what he meant.
Yeah.
Later, so
yes,
you
2 years later, absolutely.
So when you said that, I was like, you know, because I watched what you're doing too, and you know, and I love like what you're doing because I'm like, you know, I saw like, hey, he's showing up. He's doing this. Oh, I saw you at when Drew and them had the thing at Euphoria. Remember?
Yeah.
I was like, man, this dude's here. He's doing his thing, you know, and stuff. And I'm seeing like, you know, it really is just sticking with it. I know, but it's hard to say to somebody when they're at their lowest point.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes when you're at your lowest point, it's hard to be like, you know, but it's like, I promise you. And then sometimes you got to do other things.
Yes.
Like, I still do marketing freelance work.
Right,
I want to. No, I really want to just do film. You know what I'm saying? But I don't mind doing it.
But you're almost there too.
Well, and I learn from on their dime.
Absolutely.
You know, I learn on my client's dime how to be a better marketer. So that's a great way to do it. You know.
That's beautiful.
So in some ways, I may stick with it a little bit as I'm doing. Just depends.
I mean,
on
why not?
Why not? That's what I'm saying. And I love marketing. So, but you know, but ultimately, man, that's funny you said that because I was like, boy, that is a good point. Like some people don't say that shit. You know, like they don't. You realize because it shows me you're thinking because you're. Oh, I remember when they said this. I remember. I saw this. Then you start connecting all the dots.
Gotcha.
And you're always going to connect the dots at some point. You know, making these films. But you got to take the leap.
Yes.
You got to have that blind faith at sometimes and take the leap and try it because that's how you're going to learn. Because the more you do it, the better you get at it, whatever that thing is. You know what I'm saying? And my goal is to make this thing. And look, I don't want to necessarily be Tyler Perry because I don't know if I want all that responsibility of
right.
how big is his
That compound.
That compound. But I want to build a big enough thing that we're remembered forever in Cleveland and beyond and in the urban world that they made really great films, they entertained us, and that's really what it's about at the end of the day. You know, one thing I love, just get this off my chest, one of my favorite things about making movies is somebody goes home and they can sit down and escape for an hour and a half. Because sometimes we want to just escape. Maybe it's the Pisces in me. I love to escape, but you know what I mean? I love to be able to do that for people. And I think Dave said the same thing. So for us both to do that and do what we did since we were kids, you know, it's an epic story. So one day, you know, when we do our Yeezy documentary, you know,
that I'm a shoot.
HWIC.
That I'm a shoot.
See, he claimed it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But really, I'm going to need somebody because I don't want to tell my own, you know.
Right.
But
I would love
like,
to
be able to do that, man.
That'd
You know what I'm saying? At
amazing.
some point,
and
I
I'm
want to
working
do
on
that.
documentaries, so I'm going to be better by the time you're ready.
And that's a lane, right? Like that's another thing. Like I don't see Cleveland true documentary filmmakers. Like who's doing that? There's so, and that's you know. Let me get that off my chest.
Come on.
There's so many lanes that haven't even been tapped yet.
That ain't
you know
been
what
touched.
I'm saying? They haven't even been tapped yet. And right. And that's the thing. Like Clevelanders need to quit looking at this. Is what
everybody doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Look, when we started doing this, I was the only one doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw
It's a lane.
like find the void in the
lane.
That's it, man.
It was a lane.
Find the void in the marketplace and then go after it and attack it.
And
That's
then attack it.
And then and a quick tip before I go is it's not always sometimes, but it's not always better to be better than it is to be first. And I know that's crazy.
And to keep going.
And keep going
you
too.
You know how many people stop because it's not perfect?
Oh,
I put out this perfect piece.
Right.
Now I can't put nothing out that's not perfect.
Right.
I can't. Now I'm stuck.
Right.
I started bad on purpose because I wanted to show I could get better.
That's it, man.
So now anything that I do, I'm putting it out.
That's it, man. That's
I'm
true.
putting it out because that's where I'm at.
That's it, dude.
And if you really rock with me, you're gonna see oh, in 6 months he's gonna be completely different. So I'm
Right.
gonna just come back in 6 months and we're gonna be even better.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it, dude. And don't get this twisted either. Every time we get this off my chest, every time I started a new movie, there's always that pit in your stomach.
Yeah.
Is this gonna work?
Yeah.
Are we gonna be able to finish this?
Yeah.
Are we,
Oh, man.
don't think Johnny Filmworks walks around like, yeah, come here, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't. You know what I'm saying?
The movie is done.
It just started and it's already done. You know what I mean? Because I already know what's going.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're always gonna have doubts, fears, anxieties.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's another thing. You know, part of life. Like, you know, the pharmaceutical companies will tell you, like, if you feel anxiety or you feel whatever, you know what I'm saying, or depressed sometimes, you know, oh, you need this drug. Sometimes that's just part of being a human, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're gonna feel those things and we're gonna feel despair and
You gotta feel them, and you
That's
gotta
it,
take
man.
it.
Right.
You gotta take inventory of
there you
ourselves.
go. Boy, that's
what it is.
That's a great point, man.
Man.
Like, feel your feelings. Don't run from them. You know what I'm saying?
Feel your feelings.
Feelings.
Real
Because they're there.
shit.
They're real
They're
feelings.
really happening.
That's it, man. Right?
Don't use no drugs to try to finesse it.
Right. Because all you're doing is self-medicating.
That's it.
You know, I realized years ago I used to, I would drink, not all the time, but, I would drink more because I was like, that was my self-medication.
You
I
was
was
feeling
running.
some
I was
type of
running.
way.
I was running from my own feelings. You know what I'm saying? And as time went on, I realized I would feel my own feelings. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because really, that's what we are as humans. We're feeling. We're energy. We're feeling.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
yes.
So you got to feel through your shit. You know,
And
or
understand
otherwise,
where you want to be with it.
that too, right?
So then you have a balance. Oh, I'm off because
Yeah.
I like feeling like this, but I'm feeling like this today. What the fuck happened?
Exactly. And then start breaking it down and figuring
And
out.
it's like, okay, it was that person
And-
or it was that thing.
Yep.
Okay, let me not do that thing no more.
Right. Because we live in a world now. We're supposed to be happy all the time. That's not human.
It's not
That's-
human.
If everything, I always say this: if everything went our way, what is the point of living on this earth, man?
Right.
What is the point?
What is the
What is
point?
because we would like everything would go. We'd be so bored. Like you were like, man, let's have a sixsome with some bad bitch. Like, boom. You know what I mean? Like, what fun would that be? If we always, you know what I mean?
You wouldn't even want to do it
You
no
wouldn't
more
even
because
wanna
it
do
was
it
so
'cause
easy.
that's it. And that's what I try to exactly right. Or I want $1 million right now, but
Right.
it wouldn't. You're right.
When
it
you
would
get
be
that
so
$1 million
easy.
because you hustled
'Cause
20,000.
that's it, man.
15,
That's it.
50,
It's
then you hit the 100. You know what I'm saying? You like, oh, shit,
man,
I'm up.
embrace the struggle.
Yes.
Embrace the complexity.
Yes.
Embrace the hardness of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, you're gonna feel that much better when you've achieved certain things. You know what I mean?
100%.
And to bring it all full circle is enjoy the journey more than the destination, because when you get to the destination, sometimes you're like, oh shit, I actually enjoyed the journey more than I
Yeah.
thought I did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like you said, you being down right now, man, this is what makes it that much sweeter.
It does.
When it gets, you know what I'm saying? Because without to have the light, you have to have the dark.
Exactly.
To have the rich, you got to have the poor. You know what I'm saying? It's
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? That's how
And
to
take
have
the risk to get the
but
reward.
that's it, man.
Gotta
That's
take
bottom
the risk.
line, bro.
That's
Bottom
it.
line. So
Well, this is the King Team Network, Johnny.
Hey, man,
this has been
definitely, bro.
amazing.
Definitely, man. That's
one
dope.
of the best ones.
Yeah,
And
dope.